Hi, this is Brian from B's Music Shop, and I'm here in Big Rapids at the Music Instrument Swap, and I'm here with the Bryan Galloup of Galloup Guitars, the one and only. I mean, you're the guy. Yeah. I mean, you're the guy that when I was learning repair that I looked up to and thought knew it, figured it all out. So it's awesome to get to be here with you. And you brought some guitars from like your personal collection, right, today?
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks a lot for spending time with us and being here at Ferris State University and Paul Quant's music industry program for this first show. We hope that there's many to come.
Yeah.
By the way, but yeah, no, I'm from here in Big Rapids, and I have a shop down in south of Big Rapids, the Galloup Guitars and the Galloup School of Lutherie.
Yeah.
Which is, if you want to come by and spend some time with us, we'd love to have you. But this collection of instruments is, I'm not really a guitar collector. I mean, I've been in business for so long in the same spot for so long, things just kind of stick to me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not out to do it. But I'm a big acoustic guitar fan. It's just so hard to make great sounding musical instruments out of something that's all wood, you know, and not relying on pickups or whatever it is. The guitars that I grabbed today are really kind of unique in the fact that they are the iconic guitars that Martin made really between 1930 and 1945, which is where the rubber hit the road for the best sounding acoustic guitars of all time. This one,
that thing's incredible.
Yeah.
We played a few minutes ago, and oof.
So this is a 1938 000 42, and the reason why I like the 42s over the 45s, the 42s and 45s signify the bling or the pearl that it has on it, and the 42 just had the right amount of pearl. It wasn't over blinged.
Yeah.
If you have a 45, it has pearl everywhere on it, and you can see the beautiful Brazilian rosewood on this. You can always also see on these old ones, see it still has the saw marks in it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I know you can't really pick that up, but this is a 38, which of course is definitely pre-war. At that year of this model, they made 16, so you got to kind of wonder how many are left.
Yeah.
You know, in the early days, they didn't treat them the best, and you know, humidity, a couple of fires and floods, and you're down to a handful. This one is a great example of a Martin D28 from that year, 1943, super clean. Why it lasted as good as it did, I don't know. I have the original case. That's the Brazilian rosewood that people kill for.
Yeah.
So
the grain is so like
straight.
Tight. Yeah.
There's another one we're going to look at that has like the Brazilian that looks like someone dipped a comb in ink and went like this, went sideways with it and pulled the lines down. This is just good straight grain stuff.
Yeah.
Now this is a 43, so this would be considered a war era guitar. I mean, as soon as the bomb Pearl Harbor, we're in the war, so anything previous to that is pre-war, war, and post-war. This guitar is really a unique thing, and that is a 1930 OM-18P, which stands for plectrum. So when this was originally made, it was a 4-stringed instrument.
Oh, wow.
And when it showed up at my shop, all it was a body, but I identified what it was right off the bat. And what you do on these is the 4 strings were right here, but the footprint of the bridge was still big. So all you do is you put a different bridge on there, add the 2 holes, and then I just made a long scale neck for it, Martin long scale, and I have a 1930 OM-18. It's a conversion, but what you're really after here is this box.
Yeah.
Because it does have a very, very snappy sound. Just got a great, dry sound. The one on the end, this guitar.
Yep. Sorry, I just checked something real quick. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, the one on the end. This guitar came out of a dumpster actually in Detroit, and I have 2 guitars that are dumpster divers. But when this showed up at my shop, it was distressed for sure. It had a bridge on the bridge, and you can kind of see where the other bridge was.
Oh yeah, where it like
you know, it was glued right on top. I don't know what they were thinking, but it had a fretboard glued on a fretboard, and it had
it was.
Yeah, I can't explain it. It's like, I don't know who did this, but, you know, they were on drugs for sure. But what I did, because the guitar was oversprayed, so I took it and just lightly took it down with 2000 grit to the original finish on the face and burnished it, and I refinished the back and the sides.
I've had some of those where they oversprayed it and they did such a bad job adhering the finish that you're like, thank you for not really prepping it, you know?
You know, because all you got to do is get it down to it. This is that 1942.
That's
Brazilian
gorgeous.
rosewood. So this one really is a great guitar. It's just got a great sound, great look.
Yeah.
Because it's a 42, it's actually, by perceived value, more than this, but when you get them both side by side, there's no comparison. This one is the ticket item.
Yeah.
Coming down here, we have, this is the 41 I was talking about. This would be pre-war. This is a 41 D18.
It's a Willie Nelson model.
Oh, this guitar owes nothing to nobody. It's been around. It's rock solid. You take it outside, take it by the campfire, do whatever you want. It doesn't move. It's a killer sounding instrument.
I love the way it looks. It's just worn in all those ways that, like when someone makes a relic, that's what they like shoot for. It's like that's the target.
It is. When I go out to play with people, this is the one that I grab.
Yeah.
And of all the guitars that I do that are players' guitars, this is the one that stuck with me because it's such great sounding, great playing instrument.
Yeah.
Again, I had to do some work on it, non-original bridge, but it's just a great original finished instrument. A lot of the people who are, into clean stuff, they go past this instrument, but they really shouldn't. Those are some of the best ones.
Yeah.
Here we have one of mine that I brought. This one I made in 2017, I think it was. This is a G2 model, G for the Galloup, my last name. 2 stands for the second guitar that I designed.
Okay.
And when I say design, that's a pretty loose term because I'm not trying to reinvent the guitar for sure, and they all have bouts and waist and stuff, but it's my basic design that if you see it, you kind of think about me. So it's a G2C for the cutaway.
Yeah.
And this is a very typical build for me. We try to do different rosettes every time. This one is pickup sticks.
Okay.
And the back has a deco motif, and this is Brazilian rosewood. Right now I have one of the largest standing stocks of legal Brazilian rosewood in the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there's another guy, Jake Robinson, who's about ready to get his stock legalized also, who will pretty much have the market cornered. This is a very big seller for me. Of all the instruments that I make, and I make 3, this is like the workhorse. It just, if you need power, if you need this will do it. It's just a big instrument. Not everybody's into big instruments.
They're super fantastic. I always love your bridges, the way the pinless design, and I always like the way you make them intonate. I just think that's so cool. It's hard. I don't know. It's easy to see in camera, but he has a way he thickens it up.
Yeah, the reason why this is designed like this is it's all about weight and balances when you're designing an acoustic guitar to be a musical instrument rather than just producing guitars. And by not having bridge pins plus doing all this, I lighten the bridge up by a good 4 grams. And when you lighten it up by 4 grams, you can tune the top differently. And it's more applicable for like fingerstyle playing. In other words, it's going to be much more responsive and it's going to have more of a loose feel. And the last instrument we have, which is something I've had for a long time, it is not a well-known instrument because everybody thinks, Gibson J-45, Gibson J-50. Well, this is a J-35. The original big body guitars that came out after, like we had the L00s and the Nick Lucas, was the Jumbo and the Advanced Jumbo.
Yeah.
The Jumbo was a long scale, really a great instrument. And then the Jumbo, the Advanced Jumbo was a long scale. The Jumbo was a short scale. But they didn't really take off for some reason. I can't remember why. So they came out with the working man's guitar, which was a Gibson J-35.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's a 35 is because it sold for $35. J-45 sold for $45. J-50 sold for $50. J-2 off the scale.
Wow.
But this is a 1941, which was the last year. I think these came out in 38, but don't quote me on that. I'm not a vintage, up on all the vintage stuff. But this is just a spectacular instrument.
Yeah.
Short scale, has that nice orange look to the top.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's aged really well, too.
It has aged well, and it's not in bad shape for 1941.
No, that's fantastic.
But Paul, is putting the event on, and I'm starting to think about liquidating some of these.
Yeah.
I thought this would be a great time to pull it out and spend some time with you guys.
Well, hey, I appreciate you showing us today. It's always a great talk to you.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to make sure I make it over to the store.
Yeah, we got to go see each other's place. We were just talking about that. So,
sure.
Thank you.